The new renewable fuel is hydro-treated vegetable oil. This is a new biofuel which uses certified waste fats and oils and synthesised with hydrogen to make a much greener renewable fuel.
There are a number of organisations involved in the field trial, led by the trade associations UKIFTA and Offtec. UKIFTA represent the liquid fuel distributors and Offtec the boiler technicians and manufacturers. What we were aiming to achieve was to find out whether a renewable liquid fuel could replace heating oil.
Very pleased how the trials have gone. In November 2020 we did the first property in the country. We've now done the first school and the first church.
So our building, our school, is 80 years old, which means it has its own set of special features but also its own issues. It's quite a drafty building and it doesn't have an awful lot of insulation because of the way they were built back then, which means that some of the more modern options for heating the school aren't really available to us. They won't really be as effective as we would want them to be. So we are reliant on our boiler, but by using the HVO fuel, it means that we can be that bit more sustainable and that we can help to find out whether the alternatives really will work. And that's what's exciting about this, is teaching the children that there are alternatives out there and that we are actively trying to use them.
We've actually put the HVO in various different types of oil appliances, from Rayburn cookers, Argo cookers, low NOx boilers, condensing and non-condensing, interior and exterior boilers, and so far all are working really well.
Since the start of the trial, we've kept our local MP, George Eustace, involved and informed of what we were doing. And we're pleased that he's been able to come and have a look at one of the trial sites and see for himself.
Government is looking across the piece about how we can decarbonise our homes, how we can find alternatives, for instance, to gas-fired boilers, how we can retrofit some of our homes to have boilers that are carbon neutral. And in some rural communities, this could be an important part of that endeavour that we have to get net zero, because the carbon emissions linked to this fuel are far lower than they would be on conventional fossil fuels and oil.
Once we commenced the trials, we did a newsletter to our customers to explain what we've been doing with this fuel, and we've been thrilled with the response from them. We've had emails of support and requests to go on the trials themselves.
It is really great to have this kind of fuel in this kind of building. I mean, this is 1865, this is a very old building, big, large, difficult to insulate, and this opportunity to have environment-friendly fuel is absolutely ideal.
I think what was attractive about the idea of HVO was it's a renewable fuel, but we can use the existing facilities that we have in the house. So it wasn't about having to completely sort of dig out and restructure our house, which, considering we're a grade 2 listed property, wouldn't have been available to us.
I wouldn't go for the air source heat system because I found that when I worked in the electricity industry for over 20 years that it suited properties that were specifically designed to receive that type of heating, highly insulated with plenty of outdoor space where they could put the pump without the intrusion of any noise.
Switching on the boiler and knowing that it's going to raise the temperature in the house within 10 to 15 minutes to a livable level, a comfortable level, is of paramount importance, especially if you've got children.
So I surveyed the local community in St Agnes, and actually it was really interesting to see that people were using a variety of different fuels, but there was a real desire to switch to a more renewable source. So actually over a quarter of the people answered, yes, we would like to switch if there was a renewable source available to us.
To hit our net zero target and to hit the carbon budgets we've got between now and then, we actually have to try all sorts of things. We have to refit some of our homes so that we have boilers that are more environmentally friendly and don't use fossil fuels. In rural areas like this where people have got oil-fired boilers, we want to encourage them to try more environmentally friendly fuels. It's a relatively simple process, and so I think in some village communities where there's a high number of oil-fired boilers, this could be quite an important technology.
A cost-effective way of heating your home is almost as important as putting food on the table and a roof over your head. A roof over your head without being able to afford to heat it is of no use to anybody. We have to remember that in Britain, not only do we have food poverty, but we have fuel poverty. And there are thousands of people in Britain who are on low wages or basic wages, low incomes, and they are struggling to be able to heat their homes in the winter now. And we must look seriously at any alternative that's offered that can help us all enjoy a well-heated home at reasonable price.
So I think there's maybe a bit of a misunderstanding that coastal rural communities are maybe provincial and backwards. In my experience of living in St Agnes is that it's a very dynamic place with real innovative cutting edge businesses. So I myself work up at Finisterre. It's a sustainable clothing company based in the village. Our neighbours are Surfers Against Sewage, activists to protect our oceans. We're really looking to make switches in our impact on the environment to minimise that impact and to do it now. We're looking for action, and I think as a community St Agnes will be really ripe for what options there are out there, what alternatives. We'll want to get on it soon and to share that across the community. I think it's just that information and that availability at the moment isn't available to us.
We've been extremely pleased with the results of our field trial so far. What we've been able to show is that we can replace heating oil with a renewable liquid fuel, and we can do it with the least amount of disruption to our customers and at a very low cost. The big difference is that our renewable liquid fuel can reduce emissions by about 90%. What we'd like to do is extend our field trial into the next winter period, extend it across the country and extend it across the appliances that we've tested so far. But we also recognise that our customers have a number of concerns and they're alarmed by the cost, disruption and the technically challenging solutions that are out there. So we have launched an information campaign called Future Ready Fuel. This will provide our customers with a website and an email address where they can answer some of the questions that they have about the renewable liquid fuel that we're using called HVO. Our message to government is simple. We would like to help government decarbonise our customers' homes. We'd like to extend our field trial into the next winter period, but we do need some government help. Governments have been very helpful in terms of other heating solutions, and we'd like the government to extend that to a renewable liquid fuel. The government should take heart that we're trying to provide our customers with a choice. The government should take heart that we've had an amazing response from our customers to date, and the 20,000 people that work in our industry in rural and local communities are also there to help too. That's something that in this heating debate you don't hear very often.